Hello everyone and welcome back to the Perfect French with Dylan. Today I have a Q&A for you. So it's going to be French questions and personal questions. I have a good mix of both, but I'm going to start with French questions as usual. I have all the questions you asked me on Instagram and on YouTube, so let's answer them. And we started with one about the subjunctive. J'ai du mal à comprendre les verbes subjonctifs. Pouvez-vous nous expliquer? I struggle to understand verbs in the subjunctive. Can you explain? That will take me a very long time to explain. I already have a video about the subjunctive. I believe it's more than an hour with all the example, all the situation where we use the subjunctive. The video has a book with it that you can get on Amazon and the PDF on my website if you want. It's full of exercises. And I also have on my website, I never talk about it somehow, the table of subjunctive. It's all the different verbs and conjunctions and everything taking the subjunctive. It's very useful. There's the audio with all the examples and everything. So if you have time to spend, either watch the video and grab the book and or go check out the table of subjunctive on my website. We got a long one here. As a native speaker, which language aspect point do you find the most difficult to explain, teach? And also, favorite natural attraction in France? Honestly, the place of adverbs sometimes give me a hard time because there are rules, but sometimes there's no rules. I don't know, it's hard to explain. If you never noticed, I haven't made a video about that because I don't know, I struggle a lot with it to explain it. Using it for me, it's very easy, but yeah, it's still one of the books I want to make, place of adjective, place of adverbs, etc. It's just, yeah, I just have to find the right way to explain it. And for your visit in France, go to Provence. Beautiful, beautiful. Lavender fields, beautiful, my favorite. If a student is stuck at A2 level, what should they focus on next? I will say more complicated sentence structure and more vocabulary, as well as lots of reading, speaking, listening. But it really depends what's your A2. Because some people say they A2 but they never read or they never listen to anything. If you have been tested and your level is A2, then focus on all that. If you A2 in grammar but you never read and you never listen and you never speak, I'll focus a lot on that. Okay? When speaking, what are some dead giveaways that will reveal someone is from France when they're in Quebec and vice versa? So I don't speak Quebec French, I don't. But I believe sentence structure and obviously the accent. I believe that Canadian French adds a lot of tu. So, t'as-tu mangé? When we say tu as mangé. It's not wrong, it's just a different sentence structure. Don't ask me to do the accent because I can't. By the way, if you want a great YouTube channel about Canadian French, you can check ma prof de français here on YouTube and on Instagram. Great question. How to use a-t-il in French? A-t-il is used with the inversion and mostly with the passé composé. Est-ce qu'il a reçu son invitation? For an example, we have est-ce qu'il a reçu son invitation? Would be a-t-il reçu son invitation? A-t-il reçu son invitation? We add the T for an easier pronunciation, but it has no meaning, okay? A-t-il reçu son invitation? Why did you start a French teaching channel? What motivates you? I think I answered that in every single Q&A, I believe, but because I didn't want to go back to a classroom. At that time, I lived far away from the school I used to teach, and I wanted to give the chance to everyone to learn, no matter the money they have. I personally grew up very poor, so it's important to me to share what I know, and that's how the channel was born. How to pronounce the French R. The problem with the French R is that you are probably not used to use the muscle to pronounce it. I always say to use a pen or something clean to block your tongue. So if you put something between your teeth, it's going to block your tongue. The reason why you need to block your tongue is because the English R is made in your mouth with your tongue, not the French one. So blocking your tongue will help. Then you practice small syllables, so re, ru, ri, ro, ra, and then you go to like 3 letters syllable, cre, dre, dri, dru, etc., etc. Lot and lot of practice, but don't forget that not being able to pronounce something exactly the same way as French people, it's not a big deal either. It comes with a lot of practice, and it's fine to have a little accent, you know. What's the difference between the partitive de and the undefined de in French? They can be either for physical things or things that you can't touch. So, des oranges versus des idées. But technically, there's no difference. Most French speakers won't be able to tell you the difference. So, I always say don't worry too much about it. It's really not an issue as long as you know that they are both des and the sentence structure around it. There's no need to worry too much about it. How to improve speaking and listening. Okay, so this one, I always say reading and listening at the same time. And also for speaking, follow my French speaking practice. So why does reading and listening is important at the same time? It's because it's going to connect the sound in your brain. As simple as that. If you hear spoken French and you don't know what it corresponds to, it's just sounds. It's just makes no sense. Okay, so by reading and listening at the same time, you connect both in your brain. So what can you do to read and listen? You can watch TV and with subtitles. So you listen and you read the subtitles at the same time. You can get my French short stories book here. Here we go. So I have 3. So here you can read the stories and download the audio, the free audio that comes with the book. And so you just read each story and listen to me at the same time. For speaking, you are going to follow my French speaking practices where you repeat each word, each group of words, each sentence after me. Very, very, I have trouble finding my words today. Very, very good for speaking. Still very confused on the difference between alors and donc. Good question. So, donc is so, while alors is then. Honestly, I'm going to add it to my list to make a video about it because that could be quite long. How to be good in grammar, particularly while reading literary works. Practice, practice, practice. There's nothing like practice for grammar. Okay, so that's it for the French question. Now the personal questions. Quel genre de choses vous apporte du bonheur dans votre vie quotidienne? Merci beaucoup, professeur. So what type of things bring you joy in your daily life? At the moment, my husband and Beefy, that's all the time, but sunny days, because our first winter here was a little bit hard. If you don't know, we recently moved with my husband and my dog and our dog to Nova Scotia. My husband is Canadian. I moved here in 2019. I do not speak Quebec French. Nothing wrong with Quebec French, but that's not what I teach or what I speak. And we moved from British Columbia to Nova Scotia. And our first winter has been a little bit hard. So I said sunny days, definitely. And also, we started planting flowers. So we are currently growing a lot of flowers from seeds to plant on our land. I can't wait to see them bloom. If you want to follow a little adventure type of thing, just go check out my Instagram. I will link it below as well. What time Beefy wakes up? Well, that's a good question because she's dead asleep by now. She's dead asleep right now. I'm gonna put a picture of her, what I see in front of me. Beefy has many, many wake up times. 7 a.m., 2 p.m., then 6 p.m. She sleeps a lot. She sleeps so much. She's amazing. No, she's so cute. And then we have Mitchell and Lisa. How are you? How was your well-deserved time off? For those who don't know, I had a hard time recently. I had to take a few few weeks off, a break, because I was really close to burning out. I am doing much better now. I did take some time off. I'm trying to put better boundaries around my work, and studying the flowers has really helped. So I'm doing much better, and thank you so much. Do you miss living in Europe? Like I said, I miss good healthcare at the moment. Not that I need it, but I just want to do a checkup, and I do miss that. I miss my friends, obviously, my family, obviously. Uh, yeah, the thing I do miss the most that people don't realize is that I talked about that, I think, on another Q&A. When you go back to your home country, everything is just easy. You don't have to think because you grew up there. So everything is just so easy. You don't have to think about anything, how to get a specific card from the government, how to do this, how to do that. It's just easy. When here, everything is different. Every little thing is different. So I do miss the simplicity of being home, per se. But missing Europe, I do. I do. It's just nothing is always, you know, the grass is not always greener on the other side. There's positive and negative everywhere. But I do miss Europe sometimes, yeah, definitely. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Okay, don't laugh, but I wanted to be a scientist to find a cure against cancer and AIDS. Didn't work out. And that's it. That's it. That was all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. It's always fun when sometimes to just catch up and see what are your questions about French and about me and stuff like that. So that was always fun. Thank you so much for asking all that. Next week I will be back with a video about s'en aller. I know that many of you requested a long time ago. Sorry I didn't make it sooner, but it's coming next week, I promise. And that's it. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday. À mercredi prochain.